How's Jenny? You know, the crazy thing about Genesis is that not a single person at Genesis called it Jenny. Not a single one. I didn't hear it. I realize now that it's just an internet person thing. We got a lot to talk about. Let's just start with Genesis. Can we do that? Found it crazy you versus Pleb wasn't even a qualify for top 8. Well, if you think about it, it was supposed to be J-Mook, and I was supposed to be Fiction, because I was supposed to beat Fiction. This is seating wise. I was supposed to beat Fiction, lose to IBDW, play against SFAT, lose to Kadoran? Something. But I lost to Fiction, J-Mook beat Pleb. And that's the world we ended up living in. I don't think there's any round 1 pools that we really want to look at. So let's look at some of the round 2 pools. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but the round 2 pools are just insane. Some of them more insane than others. We're just gonna look for interesting things. Ambi Sinister beating Bonfire is pretty interesting. Bobby and Eddie Mexico having to beat here is kind of interesting as well. Toph not making top 64, kind of unfortunate. Dream, by the way, really good Ganon from Mexico from what I understand. What happened here again? Why did Nakama Man have this bracket into Juicebox? This was supposed to be somebody else, I'm pretty sure, right? Oh! No Leffen. That makes so much sense, though. But Aura beat Gooms, who beat Chudat. Crazy. Crazy upset. I actually didn't even know Chu was there. But Chu ended up beating the Kama Man to make it out in top 64. By the way, there's like, you see this pool? This is so fine. Manageable. Not that hard, not that crazy, right? Some of the pools have differing difficulty. That's what I'm saying. Like even this pool, kind of spooky for for Laud. Not a ton happening in here though. Oh, this is my pool. Yeah, we could talk about this a little bit. So I played against Gars. This was on stream. Good set of Falco versus Ices. Played pretty good. Had some fun. Played against Killablue. It was really even throughout the entire first game, and then I just hit him with a 0 to death to end the first game. He attempted to Omsatech like a forward tilt or no, it was an aerial. It was a nair. Stop Omsateching aerials from Falco. It is so bad. Don't do it. Stop. I just did nair, and then I just wave dash forward smash, and he's just dead at 80. I was like, okay, well, I'll win the game then. And then we went Yoshi's. I like 3-stocked him or something. It was kind of rough for him. And then I played against Rom. Rom and I have some weird history. I've apologized a million times through DMs, but I went up and apologized to him in person. I was like, it's good to meet you. I hope that we have some fun games. Everything was good. Rom, very nice person. Sort of handed me a lot of openings in our set, if we're talking technically, objectively, melee-wise. I didn't really have to push too hard. Lots of openings just came to me. Everything was essentially just fine. Fiction Dreffin, that's a tough one. Drew looked like he might have had some chances in game 2. Counterpick to Yoshi's. But it didn't end up working out for him at the end. Sort of just didn't have the control that he needed to end up winning. Couldn't really keep up. Okay, Amsa beat Slow King. Looked pretty commanding. IMO. Dawson beating Lucky, which was actually on the side stream. Game 2 looked really close. Lucky also lost to... Was it SDJ at LTC? I feel like Lucky hasn't had a great record against Puffs. And also just hasn't performed up to what you think of when you think of Lucky in a long time. Do you guys feel the same way? Like, what's the last really good tournament run Lucky had? And I don't mean to diss Lucky at all. He's a legend of the community, obviously. So I beat Sunsei recently. It's not bad. I don't know. When I think of Lucky, it's just like how I still feel like I'm 18. You know, I feel like it's 2013 still. And it's not. It is not. So like when I think of Lucky, I'm like, oh yeah, top 10, maybe top 15, top 20 player. But I feel like his results are more like top 50-ish right now, which is crazy. That's just odd. That is just odd. Joey plays good, he's super good. That's how I feel too. I guess I'm just like, where's the super good Joey? Okay, Soof beating Fat Goku, just sad. Just sad. We love Steven here. This was an interesting set, by the way, where Logos took a game from Zane. Very close game, game 2. Logos ends up 4-stocking, or other way around. Zane ends up 4-stocking Logos, game 3. It was a bit rough. Fat Goku beats Younger. Younger, by the way, very nice. Everybody knows I'm a Younger fan, Younger believer. Everybody knows that. And Younger actually came up and introduced himself to me at Genesis. Super nice person. Got a couple of games in with him too. Little unfortunate. I like both of these people. Obviously Steven I'm a bit closer with, but yeah, looks like they had a banger of a set. But hey, the upset of the tournament, Fizzwiggle beats Mango. Crazy upset. Asashi Sashi's the homie. A little unfortunate to see Asashi go down to Fizz, but Fizz obviously playing pretty well, being able to beat Mango. Kalindi gets 2 Samuses, Sami, in his bracket on the way to top 64, beats the Swooper. Dude, the thing is, Kalindi has lost to Swooper before, I'm pretty sure, though. Or maybe I'm just thinking that he's lost a game, which was surprising to me, too. But, like, dang, you'd think, like, this is really nice. When I asked Kalindi who he beat to get a top 64, he laughed. That is so unfortunate. For Swooper. He ends the set. It's like a 2-minute standoff of them like not hitting each other for a very long time. But he ends the set with the down tilt shield poke that he invented. It's like this tense moment. Samus wave dashes forward, shields. Kalini just does a deep run up, crouch down tilt, shield pokes, kills it like 180. And it's like, dude, imagine he didn't literally lab that 8 years ago. Samuses have a hard time. Honestly, I have to help the Falcos stop losing to Samuses. I gotta get my KJH on and teach everybody how to do it. Because right now, honestly, most Falcos are pretty bad at the matchup. I don't mean to necessarily call specifics out, but like Magi has lost multiple sets to a couple Samuses, honestly. One of them being Wevens. That's literally the one. You guys are geniuses. If Wevens beats Bobby, does Wevens beat Bobby too? I know that Kata has beaten Bobby before, I'm pretty sure. Hey, it's scary, man. Honestly, Mango and I are just really good at the matchup. Dude, Wevens is really good, I'll say that. When I watch Wevens really knows how to exploit people that don't know specific counters to the things that he does. But when I played against Wevens, I thought the same thing I think every time, and I don't mean to gloat. But it's like, oh, this isn't Duck. It is just unfortunate. Duck, like, outplays you in such raw ways, where it's like, there's nothing you could have done about it. It's just like, you just got outplayed, sorry. And when I play against other Samuses, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that kind of would have worked if I was considering this thing. But my brain would never consider going down that path. There's no reason to. But when I watch other Falcos, they're considering this weird path, and I don't know why. And they run into this weird Samus stuff, and they think, oh, Samus has these bag of tricks. They're so tricky, so weird. That is a matchup where no matter how good the Samus has been in my experience, I never feel like, ah, oh, damn, I just got tricked. So slippery, that Samus. Like, I just die so fast. Like, it just doesn't happen like that. But when I watch other Falcos, they die so fast. They look so confused. It's very odd. So I gotta help the Falcos on that one. Okay, moving on. Unfortunate for Moki. Obviously, if you're an Eggy fan, that's cool. Eggy beating the top player, then going 0-2 combo. Unfortunate. I feel bad for Moki, especially after having tweeted about Peach and then immediately having to play a Peach again. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, Eggy fans having a great weekend, for sure, for this exact amount of time. However long this set took, that's how long they had a great time for it. And then Cliche making it into winner's side top 64 after beating Mont Money. Like, this is a pretty legit bracket, honestly. Didn't beat Moki, so that's like the illegitimate part, but beating Preeminent is like not easy. Beating Mont Money, not easy. Eggy, obviously, pretty good. This round 2 is so fucked. Dude, was this the one? I think this was the round 2. There was one round 2 that was just messed up. This actually might be the one. This round 2 is messed up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Let's look at this real quick. Because inside of just this round 2 pool, you have Moki, Eggy, who's obviously good enough to beat Moki, Mont Money, Preeminent, Cliche, J-Mook, Jello, who's very good, beat Steven recently, Wally, Typhoon. But that's insane. That is insane. Yeah, Cliche going insane. Cliche absolutely going nuts. Cliche Falco player, by the way. Here, oh, Kata was at the event? I didn't know that. So Rish, this is a little rough. Oh, Dark Ava taking a game against SFAT. Slug beat Zio, but then Slug lost to Salt. Salt honestly made this look really rough for Slug. So I'm kind of surprised to see a 2-0 here. Oh, and then Slug actually ended up dropping a game before against Rish. Red beating Nut 2-1. I'm a big Nut fan, by the way. Michael's a great guy. This looked a little rough game 1 for Cody, by the way. There was an SD in game 1. Went down to last stock. Panda getting 2 Ice Climbers in a row. Kind of silly. And then there's Noiri. Nobody knows how to pronounce it. Didn't ask him when I met him. Beats Joey Donuts, beats Zuppy, ends up losing to Panda. I heard from a couple people that this person might be one of the most underrated people that were at the tournament. So Zuppy ends up beating Red 2-0, which is like apparently technically an upset, or maybe that was supposed to be Noir's seed or whatever, but it's interesting. And then Stiv ends up beating Noir. Kind of crazy. Trap Lord loses to Wasabi. Trap Lord has like had potential or whatever for I don't even know how long. Trap Lord is like so many people that I know, which you just want them to grab their potential by the horns and take it. Nunn beating Azel. To be honest, when I was watching Nunn play this weekend, I actually didn't think that he looked like he was playing very well. Then he ended up getting 4th, so kind of crazy. Oh, this was another round 2 pool that was stacked as fuck. Look at this. Everybody look at this real quick. There was Kadoran, Dova, insane player, by the way. Underrated, most likely. Mech, Dan's Demand, Lord, Sora, Lowercase Hero, Crudo, John Wick, Gex. Or Guex, sorry. Like, what? Are you kidding? That's insane. Everybody's upsetting everybody in this pool, by the way. This pool was probably the pool of the tournament, if you honestly look at it. Dova ends up upsetting whoever this is. There's no shot this wasn't a DQ. Yeah, it's supposed to be Vortex. Dova ends up losing to Kadoran. Mech beats Dan's Demand, a good Sheik. Loses to Lord, who hasn't been around for forever. Sora ends up making it after beating Crudo, or after beating Henry. Has to play Crudo. Crudo upsets Sora 2-0 in Fox versus Sheik. John Wick gets upset by Guex, but later on, John Wick beats, not only makes it out of the pool, but beats Mech, Dova, and Sora. That's insane. And then on this side, Guex loses to Dan's Demand, who beat John Wick, and Lowercase Hero loses to Buckets, and Dan's Demand beats Buckets and also beats Lord, who took a game off of Kadoran. This is a crazy pool. Just insane. I'm telling you guys, with a different bracket, Dova could have just popped off for sure. Yeah, Sora didn't make top 64. I love Sora, and I got to hang out with Sora actually a little bit at the tournament, which was great because I haven't really gotten to do that before. But yeah, maybe one of the most underwhelming performances of Genesis. I want to talk about a concept real quick. And this isn't something I feel like I have that much knowledge on. But one thing that was really interesting to me, and I honestly hadn't thought of this concept that much until Mango brought it up. So Sora beats me at Summit, right? Which was rough for me, but obviously really good for Sora because nobody knew what to expect from Sora, right? Nobody except for the Australians maybe even thought he'd win a set. We're just like, oh, Sora, Australian guy? NA is kind of the region. EU has some people. And then there's, you know, who's that Marth from New Zealand? Spud. I could only think of his real name, which is Tatooine. Anyway, Sora beats me at Summit, and then bracket is the next day or whatever. And I was talking to Mango, I was like, dude, when I was playing against Sora, I felt like I had so much pressure, you know? I have this like tier 1 sponsor, I have, you know, fans back at home, I have like, you know, I just beat Cody at my last tournament or whatever, like, oh my god, I have all this pressure. And Sora comes in playing like a madman, like he doesn't care about anything. And Mango's like, yep, that's what always happens, man. He's like, what do you think it's like being me? And he's like, just wait. Mango tells me, just wait until tomorrow. Because now Sora has some people believing in him. He has something to play for. He's proven he can do it. He's proven he's somebody. Can he live up to the expectations now? Because it's harder once you have a reason to care. When nobody expects you to win, that's when winning's the easiest. So, something that I think might be kind of happening to Sora is that there's all the potential in the world, and obviously an incredible player, but there's some amount of expectation. It's tough when you're traveling too, such a long ways, because like, you traveled all this way, you have to make something of it, right? Feels like that sometimes. I feel this way with another player too. Oh, Jmook. I'm excited to see how Jmook really handles the pressure of being the favorite. Because one, I think that Jmook got a real nice bracket for him. Two, he's incredible at the game. Three, nobody had a single expectation about how he would do. So that is a combination to get second at Genesis if I have ever heard it. I mean, like, you never know, dude. The thing that defined the gods is that the gods kind of made it and they stayed there. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like, goddamn, I guess they are just as good. I'm excited to see, man. Jmook goes to the next tournament, the fucking 6th seed or something, and he ends up having to play Mango in winner's quarters, and the whole crowd really wants him to win. Is it going to be the same as when he didn't even know how far his potential could have brought him? It's kind of fucking crazy, though. Oh, absolutely. One thing I will say, I absolutely don't mean to diminish how impressive all these wins were. But one thing, I really wish that Plup went Sheik. I know that Plup probably will just never do the Sheik Ditto again, but beating Plup's Fox is just different. Even if it's that matchup, right? Even if it's Sheik, right? And Plup's Fox is very good against Sheik. It's just a different beast. And he was actually incredible at the Sheik Ditto for a long time, too. I've never heard of Jmook before. Jmook's been good for a while, actually. Just because you've never heard of Jmook doesn't necessarily mean that people didn't already recognize his skill. I mean, Triff has been tweeting about him for 7 years or something at this point. He's definitely very, very good. And he's been good for a while. And he got to play Cody within his bracket, who's probably his, like, biggest practice partner. At least in region, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's a recipe for being comfortable, you know? Also, he had gigantic levels of support, which makes it pretty easy. People would be like, Jmook, and the whole crowd, yeah! Oh my god, Jmook! So people love him, man. So it's a bit easier to feel comfortable when the people love you, you know? Spark making it through beating Bimbo, that could have been scary. Bimbo came up to me and asked me how I was doing. So nice. I love Bimbo. Very, very nice guy. Zamu and Jace. Dude, Jace is another player. I remember when Jace first moved to Cali and played at a bunch of SSSs, and I was like, dang, Jace is real good. But yeah, and then since then, has sort of stayed at the exact same skill level for about 8 years, which is unfortunate. Zamu beat Shroomed. I did not know that. This is one of the only sets I feel like I didn't catch. Huh. Okay. Well, Shroomed ends up making top 64, but losing in the first round to Dave. Okay. It's top 64 time. Fizzwiggle has the unfortunate opportunity to play against KJH, the genius level player of the universe. Unfortunate. Beats Mango, runs into KJH. That is tough. Kalindi's very good. I saw the set pretty solidly in Kalindi's favor. Magi None, I saw the first 2 games of, but then I had to go play. I hear that Magi actually starts out really hot game 5, then loses, which is rough. Obviously, because I'm a Magi fan. I also am a Nun fan, but personal friends with Magi. HBox over Ben was just a solid win for HBox. It didn't look close, actually. You think that maybe this set would be close? It didn't look close. Laud over Axe, which honestly, which is weird that this is expected in our current Melee landscape. I see Laud versus Axe, I'm like, damn, that's a rough draw for Axe. Axe was top 10 in the world for a decade straight. When you would see Axe versus Laud from 4 years ago, you'd think, that's a tough matchup, but we all know Axe is going to win anyway. That's just how it goes. Kind of interesting that just changed so much. Cliche loses to Jmook, but takes a game. Jmook beats Plup. Wow, I mean, I haven't even talked about this zone of the bracket yet, but I mean, dang, one of the sets of the tournament that people really enjoyed for sure. Zane just drops 1 game to Onslaught on his way to top 8, which is actually crazy, beating Soof. Spark destroyed Johnny, by the way. Just destroyed him. Yeah, I wish that Spark did better against Zane, because I feel like he has it in him. Kind of wild. Cody dropped a game to Panda. I lost to Fiction. Of course I would say this, I guess, and I have some bias that's hard to look past. But I don't think this was a very impressive set from either of us. I wish it was a better set. I wish I could have said, like, oh yeah, I lost, but man, I went out swinging. Or I wish I could have said, like, oh, Fiction just fucking outplayed me, man. I just feel like it was really sloppy, not very great execution on both of our parts. I literally SD'd, I think, like 3 separate times in the set. It just wasn't great. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Logos does not have to be losing to Swooper. This is what I mean when I'm like, dude, Falcos are so good, but just not good against Samus. I need to help. I really do. I haven't done my due diligence. Azel over Shabo, Shroomed over, or Slowking over Shroomed. Wow. Crazy. Toph, can you say anything about this? Does Shroom just not care? I know he really never has, like, cared. But, like, what's up? Is he kind of just showing up to show up? Actually has started net playing again. Really? He had enough practice before Genesis. There was a local month. He had to skip out because he literally got mugged. Holy shit. Well, I hope he continues to go. Moki over Dark Atma. Mango over Fat Goku. So sad for Steven. That's tough. Bimbo loses to Umarth. Almost completes a reverse 3-0. Jeez. I actually think that I need to help the Marth mains with the Ices matchup. I actually think there are a lot of Marths who aren't very good at the Ices matchup. And I actually feel like my Marth is one of the best Marths against Ices. Only because I've gotten to talk to Nintendo so much about it. And I've actually analyzed for the matchup in the past. Okay, let's keep going. This was one of the craziest sets of the tournament. I managed to catch the end of game 4 and catch game 5. So for those of you who don't know, Ben goes Luigi against Ice Climbers. But Chudat had a counterpick Mario for the counterpick Luigi, and then ended game 5 with Mario, last stock, last hit. Insane. By the way, their Luigi Mario games were awful. They were awful. You could tell Chu does not play Mario and Ben does not play Luigi. Mario doesn't even beat Luigi. I agree. I actually know a bit about the matchup, funnily enough. I was talking to Blur about this while it was happening. And then Blur turns to me and says, Chu's not doing any of the things that you were saying and he's still winning. And I was like, that's because Ben doesn't play Luigi. So Fizzwiggle beats Mango, immediately loses to KJH, and then immediately loses to Slug. That is rough. So I lost to Fiction. I was down, by the way. I was down 0-2. And then this game, I was down 2 stocks to 1. And then I 0 to death Slow King on last stock to win that one. I think the same thing for game 4, or I'm getting them mixed up. But then I ended up just kind of solidly beating him here. One thing I want to say about my bracket real quick is, where are the Foxes? Well, they're right here. But other than that, okay, my first opponent was also Fox. I had Fox, Marth, Ice Climbers, Falco, Fox, Peach, Sheik, Yoshi. I heard there were a lot of Foxes here. I didn't see them. And when I played against Panda, I was like, oh, this is so nice. This is so easy. Sorry, Panda. Panda's an incredible player. But I was like, this feels comfortable. Kadoran lost to Crudo, by the way. We actually didn't even mention that. Crazy. Kalindi's Falco. Unfortunate, that doesn't work out. H-Box beating Polish. That just looks rough. Does it not look rough? It looks rough. Laud beat Aura. Oh my god. No way. 4-stocked him? Jesus. J-Mook beating Plup. Crazy. Moki went on a run, by the way. Dark Atmos, Soof, S2J, KJH, then finally losing to Kadoran. Damn, that is pretty crazy. This was a brutal set, was it not? This was a brutal set. Oh. Also, this looks close. Jesus Christ. 1 stock every match, game 5? Oh my god. This looks crazy. This is game 4, game 5, game 5, game 5, and then Peach. Fiction versus Axe, my prediction, maybe Axe gets 1 more set, and then I don't know if Fiction will lose to Axe again. This I didn't get to see except for the last stock, just like everybody else. Crazy. Ginger Aura was such a weird set, by the way. What a weird set. It's weird because I almost 4-stock him, end up low percent 3-stocking him, both games 1 and 2. And game 2 is on FD, so you wouldn't assume that that would be almost a 4-stock for me, but it was. Then game 3, it's a classic FD game, where like he just dash attacks like 3 times, kills me. It's like a 2-stock from him. I'm like, okay, we go Yoshi's, and he just hits me really hard, and then he like beats me last stock, and I was like, what? I was just double 4-stocking this guy. FD is such a momentum killer, you know what I mean? Dear God. Anyway, we go Yoshi's again. It's a pretty tight game. I kind of outplayed a couple clutch situations, / I think he messes up once really bad, and I just sort of like high percent 2-stock, kind of had control the whole time sort of thing. I don't think that Yoshi's is scary against Peach. I think if Yoshi's is scary against Peach for you, every stage should just be scarier. I don't know. I think there's enough room. That's the thing. I think there's like not a lot of room, but I think there's enough room. This set was kind of weird too. Salt was just hitting him. And then game 4 in this set, Plup counterpicked Fox because he tried to counterpick FOD Sheik, and that didn't work. So he picked counterpicked FOD Fox and beat Salt really badly, like a 3-stock or something. I got to watch this set live too. Moki was just kind of in control the whole time, which was unfortunate. As a KJH fan, obviously, he's like one of my best friends. I didn't get to watch this, but I'd like to see it. I heard there was a 4-stock. Oh, Crudo beat Zamu too, game 5. Wow. Mango, I didn't get to see this set, but what is this? Get triple 3-stocked? What happened? What actually happened? It's 5 minutes on YouTube? No shot. Can I watch it? Should that be the first one we watch? Okay, None versus H-Box. We all saw the stomp. Could he not have just meteor canceled it? What happened there? He died so bad? That's so weird. He was locked out according to PTAS? Show me the tweet. Ah. So this isn't a confirmation of him being locked out. It is the assumption that he was locked out, which is a perfectly fine assumption. And apparently, on top of this, he didn't have the auto meteor cancel available because he hadn't already used a double jump. Yeah, so he might have been locked out. That's pretty nuts. Hey, could you see with those sunglasses on? He said, no, absolutely not. He said, I still need them for Peach, though. Wow, that is incredible. The mental edge is more important than being able to see Peach. That is incredible. I actually believe that for him. H-Box is good for the scene, not just because he's a villain, but because he is very entertaining. And if you think otherwise, you're crazy. Zane Amsa, I didn't get to catch the set. This is actually a set that I really wanted to watch. I beat Plup, everybody. Wow. Look at that. Was this not streamed? Correct. Somebody streamed it to my Discord from their phone, and Alex19 did a hand cam. Keizu beat Kadoran 3-0. Everyone's saying Laud Polish best Peach. This is pretty impressive. My set versus Amsa was a banger, by the way. This is a banger. 1 stock, 1 stock, 1 stock, 3 stock, 1 stock. All right, let's talk about top 8. Top 8, J-Mook beats none, including a 4 stock. Yeah, I mean, J-Mook just looks very good at the matchup. Seems to play into all of his strengths. Seems to play into all of Nunn's weaknesses. It was just good. It was good for him. I thought he played it well. It was solid. Zane IBDW was, I'm going to say this, I don't know, people are going to agree with me. This was the highest level set I saw all weekend. This was the highest level set I saw all weekend. Cody was playing insane. Zane playing very slightly above average, kind of. Crazy set. Zane was having a really hard time approaching Cody, and Cody was down to make Zane approach him. And I think I called a very important adaptation that Zane needed to make, which is that he needed to fair more. He kept trying to do a lot of nair in situations where he needed to fair, and he started fairing a lot more towards the end of the set. This was brutal. What? Why? I don't understand. It was so brutal. It was crazy. Some of the craziest stuff I've seen. I don't know. I didn't get it. This just looked rough again. Jeez. It looked so rough. Cody H-Box. Cody was just playing well. I mean, he played well in the Zane set. He played well against H-Box. H-Box didn't look that good. Seemed tough. Nunn versus Amsa. This was an outcome I did not expect. Because like I said, up until this point, I did not see Nunn playing very well. I thought he played okay against Magi when I was watching. I think KJH is still new to the matchup, and that's tough. Although I'm sure, you know, still difficult for Nunn. And then I saw him get kind of lucky against H-Box, but I didn't see him play that well. But yeah, so I was like, when Nunn lost to J-Mook, I was like, yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what Nunn has been, that's like the level Nunn has been playing at all weekend is what it looks like to me. So when Nunn beat Amsa, I was really surprised because he looked incredible in this set. But yeah, what an incredible set from these two. Jesus. Some high level melee. They really put on a show. IBDW versus Nunn. It just looked brutal. I don't know why Nunn showed out for this one set and then like went back to, I guess, not playing that well. Is what it seemed like to me. Zane, yeah, just kind of beat J-Mook. It seemed kind of rough for him. I think the Zane was just like one step ahead the whole time and then really caught a rhythm. Especially you could see it in the grand set. It just seemed like he had caught this rhythm that J-Mook wasn't ready for. I got to watch this set a bit. I didn't watch it live, but I went back and watched it. It was a fine set. I just wish the level of Fox play was higher. I feel like IBDW has so much more in him than he showed in this set. But I do think that J-Mook played it pretty well. And then yeah, Zane. J-Mook said he wanted to pick Fox in a high pressure situation. My brother in Christ. How many high-pressure situations did you have? You could have done this at any point. Bro, look at your bracket. You couldn't have done it in winners finals, maybe? I'm just telling you, man. You're seeded to maybe beat Zane. There's a lot of rumblings about how you'll do at the tournament. You have, like, fans that you don't want to disappoint. And you're at Summit versus Zane? I don't know if you're going Fox. I know he said he's done with the Fox now, but just like, bro, I want to see what J-Mook with weight on his shoulders looks like. Because maybe he'll carry the burden like a god, or maybe he'll crumble. I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. So that's Genesis, man. But what an incredible tournament. I had a great time. I got to meet so many incredible, nice people. The support from the community was insane. Got to take so many pictures, sign so many things, have little conversations with the community. I had a great time at Genesis. Got to meet up with friends. It was awesome.
Get into it.